During his time in office, President Jimmy Carter and his family attended the First Baptist Church of Washington, D.C. They joined in January of 1977, and President Carter attended services there more than 70 times during his presidency.
First Baptist Church is actually the closest to the White House. We're 7 blocks north of the front door of the White House, and so they decided to come here, and we were so grateful and blessed that they did.
President Carter took time at some of his Sunday school classes to discuss major events during his presidency, like the Camp David Accords between Egypt and Israel in 1978.
Well, it's always nice to come back from a 2-week vacation at Camp David. I think some of the most unpleasant moments of my life occurred during the last 2 weeks. And of course, also some of the most pleasant. One of the great things about the meeting was that I was meeting with 2 leaders who are deeply devout and religious men who spent a great portion of their time at Camp David in prayer, who believed that they and I worship the same God. President Sadat refers often to his guidance from God Almighty, the fact that he and Begin are both descended from Abraham, that they're brothers not only in religious beliefs but also by blood. And that was one of the things that I believe gave us a kind of a clear, unshakable purpose, because we all believed that God wanted us to work toward peace. It was one of the few things on which we agreed first.
Well, those of us attending the lesson, we got here early, so there'd be no disturbance at that stroke of 9:30 when the limousines arrived at the front door here, and they ushered the people in of the president's family and on up to the balcony. So there were many people already sitting in the sanctuary, but needless to say, the balcony was full of people eager to hear President Carter.
Bonnie Jorgensen is a longtime member of First Baptist Church. Her uncle kept a diary recalling some of the serious and more lighthearted moments involving the Carters at the church.
This is from August the 6th of 1978. He says, President and Mrs. Carter in class today, demonstrators invaded the church and made disturbances by trying to read statements in a loud voice, disrupting the Sunday school class that was meeting in the balcony where President Carter is. Robin Clack had advised them that they were welcome to worship with us quietly, but that if there were any disturbances, they would be ejected. One woman immediately arose and commenced to shout. Robin hustled her out and turned her over to the police waiting outside. As soon as Robin had started to take her out, a man who had been sitting next to her rose and started to shout. I came up behind him and locked my arms in his and dragged him out into the aisle. Cy Thompson caught the other arm, and we took him out the front door and turned him again over to the police. Many television cameras were outside. I then returned to my post in the sanctuary.